Alright, back with another album review. Today's review is on Purple Onion by the Les Claypool Frog Brigade. It's the only studio album that the Frog Brigade have ever made. The album was recorded at Rancho Relaxo in 2002, and Jason Thompson was the studio assistant. Les Claypool produced, mixed, and engineered the album. It was mastered by Stephen Markison at Markison Mastering. The album was released on September 24th, 2002 on Prawn Song Records. Most of the musicians from the Frog Brigade's live albums have returned for this album, but there are also some new musicians this time around. With that out of the way, let's talk about the songs. The intro to this album is Purple Onion, which of course shares the same name as the album. Les Claypool was the only performer on the song since he performs vocals, bass, and percussion. After that is David McAllister. Les is on guitar, bass, and vocals. Jay Lane was on drums. Mike Dillon was on metal drum, vibraphone, and percussion. And Skerrick was on saxophones. Next track is Buzzards of Green Hill. Les is on lead vocals and bass. Warren Haynes is on guitar. Enor Wildboar provided backing vocals and played the tambourine and the jaw harp. Mike is on the pandero and tabla bayo. And Skerrick is on the baritone saxophone. Next up is Long in the Tooth. This track has Les on bass and vocals. Enor on slide guitar. Mike on electric bow and arrow and metal sounds, and Skerrick on baritone saxophone. Up next is Whamola. This track is special because Les plays the whamola. We also have Fish Fisher on drums, Enor on guitar, Mike on kawiko, and Skerrick on fancy saxophone. This is my favorite song from the track. And it stands out because a mashup version was used for the theme song to South Park in Season 10 going forward. Speaking of which, Les played the whamola during the segment of the South Park 25th anniversary concert when Primus played that particular version of the theme song. We followed up with Ding Dang. This track has Les on bass and lead vocals, Jay on drums, Mike on vibraphone, Enor on guitar, and backing vocals, and Skerrick on fancy saxophone. That's followed up by Barrington Hall. This track has Les on vocals, bass, and drums, Ben Barnes on violin, Sam Bass on viola and cello, and Mike on marimba. The song was made as a tribute to the UC Berkeley student housing that was known for counterculture throughout the 60s to the 80s. What comes next is Dee's Diner. For this track, we have Les providing lead vocals and bass. Lonnie Marshall and Norwood Fisher were also on bass. And it isn't every day when you have three bassists on one song. Also, we have Gavi Lang on sitar and Enor on tambourine. Now, this track was made as a tribute to a restaurant in Sebastopol, California. What comes after that is Lights in the Sky. On this song, we have Les providing vocals, bass, and percussion, Dean on drums, Enor on guitar and backing vocals, Mike on vibraphone, and Skerrick on fancy saxophone. The following track is Up on the Roof. On this track, we have Les on bass and vocals, Enor on guitar and backing vocals, Jay on drums, Mike on marimba, and Skerrick on fancy saxophone. The track after that is David McAllister 2. Now, the song has the same personnel as the previous one, except Enor plays a slide guitar. The finale of this album is Cosmic Highway. This track has Les on vocals and bass, Ben Barnes on violin, Enor on guitar and backing vocals, Jay on drums, Mike on vibraphone and tabla, Sam Bass on cello, and Skerrick on saxophone. I couldn't find any info on how this album performed commercially. However, I have seen that this album mostly received positive reviews. And now for my thoughts. I think this is a great album overall. And I think it was a great decision for the Les Claypool Frog Brigade to make a studio album. These guys split up in 2004, but they reunited in 2022 and are still performing live shows. I don't know if they'll ever make any new studio albums, but only time will tell. Overall, I highly recommend this album. Now's the part where I question you. Have you listened to Purple Onion? If so, what do you think about it? What's your favorite song from it? Do you think the Frog Brigade will ever make a new studio album? Have you seen the Frog Brigade in concert? Now let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Be sure to press the notification bell to notify future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back soon with another video.